Si quieres, yo también lo voy a grabar por si.
Ahí ya. Ok.
No, no me tienes que dar permiso, no me dejes.
All right, so good morning. I am Dani from the King's Student Hub, and today we have a really special guest. This is Andrea Restrepo. Andrea is going to help us today to inform and share her knowledge about the Indian entrepreneurship process and all the things that I believe that is really important for the students. So, hi Andrea, how are you?
Hi, Dani, I'm very good. You?
Very well. Thank you very much for this space. So, tell us a little bit about what you're doing with in your job and what is your profile.
Okay, well, I will tell you a little bit about myself. I am Andrea Restrepo. I'm originally from Colombia. I came here almost 8 years ago already. Time flies, so you have to think about that. I had been with my own business for 6 years, and I have been working supporting a small business or a small business owner, focusing on migrants in business, because I think Australia is a country full of opportunities that we can just take the advantage of this and create our own businesses and do our own things. And as a student, when we came as a student, where you are from a students organization, so I will focus on the students in this interview or whatever you want to call it. When we came as a students, we don't know anything about how the system works in Australia, and we are completely like blind about what is going on, and we just do whatever people tell us to do. But the idea is that you inform yourself, take informed decisions about your future, and take all the opportunities that you have here in Australia.
Yes, that is what I always say to the students, that planning ahead is really important. Get the proper information is important to thinking about the next step. So that's why thank you for your space. And today we're going to talk about what is ABN, how the students should use the ABN, what is the difference between ABN and taxation, in which cases they should use it or not. And as well, for those one who wants to open their own business, how they can start and what resources they can use.
Yes, yes, correct.
All
Okay,
right. Yeah.
you go ahead.
So I think it's a misconception about the Indian and taxation. What is the difference?
Okay, well, let's start with what is an ABN. So if you go to an ABN, I will show you so you can see more frequently. ABN is Australian business number. So that means you are registering a business in Australia because you are entering and you are getting a number that is the registration of a business. That is the first thing that you need to have like clear. And there is different kind of types of ABN or business structures. That is sole trader, partnership, trust. The normal ABN that we get, that when you arrive as a student, you maybe are told to get an ABN to be able to get a job or whatever. So you get an ABN, and the ABN that you get is an ABN sole trader. That means you are a unipersonal business. You are only you in the business, and you are the business, as the business is directly linked to your tax file number. The tax file number is the number that you are, or the registration that you need to do here to be able to work. That is the one that allows you to work in Australia.
So it means even that you have an MBN, you will need a tax number as well.
Yes, the tax file number is a requirement to get an ABN. So first you need to get a tax file number, and then you are able to apply for the ABN.
All right.
So once you get your ABN, in this meeting or in this time, I will focus on ABN sole trader. Even though I know that is partnership, company, and trust, and unfortunately, there is a lot of businesses that are asking students and people to get an ABN, and even they are going a little bit there and saying you need to get a partnership ABN, or you need to get a company to get a job, and that is illegal. So that is the next point that I want to take with you guys. And it's because, do I really need an ABN? Do you really need an ABN? I know that normally, as I said before, you came here and you are told get a tax file number, get an ABN, because that will give you more options to get a job. Okay. But as I said before, you are opening a business in Australia. So that means you have obligation, extra obligations that you need to meet. So it's really important that before you open an ABN, you think about, do you really need an ABN, or why do you need the ABN? What do you want the ABN for? So if the reason is that someone asks you to get an ABN because that is the way that you will be able to get a job, that is illegal, as I say. So it's illegal to treat a contract and pay a worker as a contractor, working with ABN, that is a contractor, when in fact you are an employee of a business. So if someone tell you you need to get an ABN to be able to get a job, that is wrong. I know it's the normal practice. I know a lot of people do it. I know maybe you are in a position that you need the job and you say, okay, I'm going to get an ABN. Actually, it's people that is told to get a company or to register a company. They go and register a company and they don't have idea what they are getting into. What are all the obligations that they get or responsibilities that they have to do. So the difference between having an ABN and having or being an employee, I will say, is that well, this is a practice that is called sham contracting, when you are told to get an ABN, and the business do that because they want to save
Avoid.
money. Yeah, save money and avoid taxes and avoid obligations with you. And you won't have the same like benefits of other employees, even doing maybe the same as you. So you have to be careful with that.
Yeah, I want to give an example. What is most common cases about this in the student community is when they are employees as cleaners. So sometimes the cleaning companies ask you, okay, you need to get an MBN to be able to get your payment, and this one. But the thing is, you are not really a business, because when you are a business, you should have your own equipment. You should have your own schedule. You can choose what time you can work. But when they give you the equipment, when they say, you need to work from this hour to this hour, they give you a specific schedule and you don't have that freedom to work when you want. That more than MBM profile is more like as an employee, because you are following some instructions and a schedule and timetable.
Exactly.
So when you
This
are your own business, you have more freedom because you are like a self-contractor, and it means you have the expertise in that industry. That's why you open your own business and you have all the equipment, and it's like a contract. Yeah. But
exactly.
when it's as a usually in these cleaning jobs, what is happening is that the company really just want to avoid to pay you what you should get it, plus the superannuation as well. They sometimes they want to avoid to pay that.
Exactly. What I have seen in the practice is that businesses that do that ask you to get an ABN to be able to get a job. Normally, what they want to do, or normally what they are doing is paying less than the minimum wage, and that is the really difficult thing, because you are in a situation that you need the job, but if you get a job that they are not paying you the minimum wage, and the minimum wage exists because that is the money that you need to survive or to live comfortable here. Yeah, because there is a lot of bills that you have to pay. There is the rent, there is the well, transport, the studies, everything. So don't let people take advantage of you because you need the job. There is
Yes,
plenty of job that you can get as an employee, or okay, maybe sometimes as a contractor it's okay to get a job, but just don't don't accept like really bad payment. for you?
Yeah, I mean, in comparison to different countries, Australia has a really specific structure and rules about these things. And sometimes we don't know about it, that we can be covered under these laws because we thought, oh no, we are new and we just
Yes,
need the job and everything, but it's not. This is a rule, this is a structure that Australia looking after everyone because we are allowed to work as a students. It means we are like we have the same rights as an Australians
exactly.
under the work structure. So yeah, sometimes the students are a little afraid because, oh, yes, they need the job. But the thing is, as you mentioned, they don't know about what are the responsibilities behind of that. And as well, when you are an ABN and you are your own company and something happened to you, you should have your own insurance as well.
So I will go a
So,
little bit about the difference between employee and contractors. I have
yes.
some, so there is few things that you need to check on that aspect. Sorry. Okay, so first, if you are a contractor, you should be able to delegate or subcontract your work. That means you are not obligated to do yourself the work. If you are obligated to yourself, you need to do yourself the work. That means you are more an employee than a contractor. So that is one of the main difference. The other difference that I have found is that, as you say, you put the tools and equipment when you are a contractor. When you are an employee, your employer put everything for you. You don't need to spend anything else. You are just going to work and that's it. Financial responsibility and risk. When you are a contractor, you are the one taking the responsibility. If something goes wrong in the cleaning industry, for example, you go and you do a bone cleaning, and the bone cleaning and the real estate came and say, no, this bone cleaning is very bad. It's still there, dirty or something. You as a contractor should be the one going to do the warranty, right? Not the business that is subcontracting you. If it's the other business, it's because you are more an employee than a contractor. So you are the one taking the responsibility, and that's something very important. That is something that has created a lot of problems that I have seen between contractors and um, the business that subcontract the job, because then it starts a dispute. Who has to pay for that time? Who has to go there and clean again? Who has to spend the chemicals and everything? So that is important that you know that as a contractor, you have that risk. That's why you shouldn't be getting low pay, because you have to take all these things in account. The other thing, and that is very important, is suppose that when you are working as a contractor, you have the power to negotiate the rate and to negotiate how the work is going to be done, how the work is to be performed. You have control over how you want to do the job. The important thing is that you get a result. So if in cleaning again, you are going to do the one cleaning, the idea is that you get everything clean and tidy and ready for the next person to arrive to the home. But it doesn't mean that the person contracting you has to say to you exactly how to do the work. If someone is telling you how to do the work, how long you have to take, that is an employee, not a contractor. So I hate to say that, but I have worked as a cleaner long time ago. My husband worked as a cleaner too, worked as a cleaner, and we have found businesses that you are a contractor when this is beneficial for them, but you are as an employee when this is beneficial for them too. So they are always one-sided, always thinking about them, and that is not right. You have to think if you are going to get a job as a contractor. So just be treated as a contractor. You are allowed to say no, I don't want to do this job. You are allowed to say this is let's say someone say, you need to clean this house and I will pay 100, and you say no, 100 I will take much longer and it will cost me much. You are allowed to say no, this is not my rate, this is not right, I charging this because of this or that. You have to think that you have more expenses compared to an employee. An employee doesn't have expenses. You have to have some of the obligation you have to have as a contractor is that you have to get your own licenses if you need license for the job that you are doing. You need also to pay your insurance, because you are normally you are not covered for your subcontractor so your contractor insurance. So the business that is contracting you, normally you are not part of their insurance. So if something happened to you, you need to be covered yourself. That's why there is a lot of problems with Uber and Didi and Driver and all these kind of things, because that is a subcontractor relationship when with all these platforms. And when something happened to a driver, that's why Uber doesn't cover anything, because you are a subcontractor, you should have your own
Insurance.
insurance. Yes. So it's important that you have always insurance, even if the person that is giving you the job is not asking you for an insurance. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take in count that always is a risk. There is always a risk, or you can damage property from someone else, or you can injure yourself. And what happens if you injure yourself and you can work for 2 months or 3 months? So just think about that. And that is an extra expense. So that's why you cannot be getting the same pay as an employee, because you have extra expenses to cover, extra cost for you.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much for that deep clarification, because I think it's really important for the students to understand the two different profiles, what is when you're using VM or when you are as an employee. All right. Perfect.
Something else about the taxes that you asked for. I'm not a tax agent. I cannot give like a specific tax advice, but I do know the law. I had been working in this industry for a long time, and I was doing tax returns for a few years. So I know about the laws. Look, subcontractors with a sole trader ABN and employees pay exactly the same amount of taxes. It's exactly the same table for the tax return or income tax that they have to pay. What is the difference? As I say, the contractor has more expenses. So you are able to claim the expenses. You are able to reduce your tax by claiming the expenses you incur to be able to generate that income. That is what the law says. You can claim all the expenses you incur in order to get an income. So if you are working as a cleaner and you have to buy the chemicals, and you have to buy a vacuum, and you have to uh, transport all these tools, you are able to claim all these expenses. But in order to claim all these expenses, you need to have your records. You need to have the receipts. You need to have a proper accountability. You have to have, at least in Excel. I don't recommend much Excel, but I prefer Excel than nothing, because that is the only way that you are able to go at the end of the year to your tax agent, and the tax agent is able to decide, okay, you can deduct this cost, you can deduct this other expense, this other, this other. So if you have an income, let's say for $20,000 in a year, but the expenses that you incur between the chemicals, the vacuum, the transport, whatever else, the insurance, all this kind of all these things that you need to get, that is cost of the business, because remember you have a business, and the difference will be, so $20,000 income and you have $5,000 expenses, that is 15,000 the difference, and you will pay taxes in 15,000, not in 20,000. That is the income. You always will be paying taxes in the profit that you have. And also something important, something that I didn't mention before, in the difference between employees and contractors. That is one of the difference. A contractor can have actually a loss because it's developing a business. So you can maybe have more expenses than income. And in that case, you will have a loss. And if you have a loss, you are able to accumulate that loss for the next year. And that will be like in your favor, a balance in your favor for the next year taxes. An employee never, never, ever will have losses. An employee can't have losses because they don't have the risk of being an employee,
A
sorry, the
business.
risk of being in a business, exactly. So that is something that you have all.
Yeah. And another thing, when you are an employee, when you get the pay slip and everything, your employer, they do automatically the tax payment. You know, like
Okay.
their salary is going directly,
Yeah.
whatever portion is from the taxes goes to the taxes. When you are an MBN, you need to do by yourself because you are a company. And it's
Yeah.
another thing that sometimes the students don't know. And when it's taxation time, they say, I didn't know, and now I have to pay this.
Yes. Yes. When I was working on doing taxes, that was a problem, very common problem, that people came and say, what, I have to pay all of that? But when? Why? And I don't have that money. What I'm going to do? Well, guys, if you are working as a contractor, I recommend that you do the job that the employers do for employees. What I mean is that you calculate your taxes each fortnight or each week or each month or whatever, and you save that tax in another account because that is not your money, that is government money. So you
Yes.
have to think about that. That is
Yeah.
government money. And
I
when the
say
time
to
came, you will have the money to pay and you won't be stressed and you won't be taking money for everybody everywhere. So
Yeah,
I
I usually say to the students, if you are working as an MBA because whatever, at least you should save 10% of your incomes for your taxes in the future. I don't know if you are agree with that percentage or should be
I
a
can
little
show
more.
you I can show you how they can
Ah,
calculate how much they can save. So if
okay.
you I will share an screen with you. Just give me a moment. Uh, just let me know when you are seeing the screen.
I think it's gonna start soon. Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Déjame abrir. Sorry.
Yes, we can see now.
Okay, so you have to go to this page that is paycalculator.com.au,
All right.
right? And then let's say you are going to do it by the week. So this week you get your income was, I will say that you do it by income because you don't know the expenses always. If you are doing your accounting or your books very organized, you can do it with the benefit, with the profit, but otherwise you will do it with the income. So you are working as a cleaner, as a contractor cleaner, and you get $800 this week. So you put $800 by a week for the week. You are resident for tax purpose or you are not resident for tax purpose, or you are a holiday maker. You have to take in account these things. You are resident for tax purpose normally when you are more than 6 months in Australia, studying full-time in Australia. So you will be resident for tax purpose. Keep in mind, tax purpose is different to your residency for migration. So it's something completely different. You put here that you want to get the tax-free threshold. That means contractors, as I say, the same table for taxes apply for us, for contractors. So if you are a contractor, the first 18,000, 1812, 1800 and 200, sorry, 18,200 are free of GST, right? So that is the tax-free threshold. If you don't have more jobs, you leave it there like that, not tax-free threshold. If you have more jobs, you have to put it in green. What that means that it will calculate the taxes that you need to save based on you have another extra income or you don't have an extra income. It's only this income or you have more. What the system does is that it takes the 800 multiplied by 52, calculate your income for the year and apply the table of the income and give you a result. So when you say this is my weekly wages, sorry, wages, no, this is my weekly income. So you get 800 income your taxes will be 214 for that 800. So that is the taxes that you need to save in your extra account. This is saying that you have another job. If you don't have another job, your taxes will be 101. So if you say it's really different. So it really depends if you have more income or just working as a contractor. Okay, then you are able to see to take this money, save it, and at the end of the year, if you are doing this calculation by income or based on your income, at the end of the year, you will have a little bit more of what you actually have to pay. So that will be only some savings. But it's better that you have it there and not that you are struggling at the end of the year to pay it. Okay.
Yes.
So this is a really good tool that you can use it. It's free and you can do it each week, each fortnight, each month or whatever, but just keep in mind that.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing this with us. Is that
Yeah,
one is really useful. I didn't know about that.
yeah, that one is good. I lost my presentation somewhere. Okay.
All right. So, um,
Hmm.
I can't see you.
Okay. I'm still just a moment.
All right. Okay, so we have covered about the NBN, what is the NBN, the difference, when the students should use it or when they shouldn't, and if they do, what are the considerations that they need to take
I
in case.
I want to add something else. It's about a contract. Look, I know it's not the most common thing, but if you are working as a contract, I strongly recommend that you have a subcontractor contract or agreement. That means there will be a document, writing document, where all the terms will be listed. And one of the terms is how you are going to be paid, when are you going to be paid, what do you need to do to be paid. So, for example, you need to, as a contractor, one of your obligations or responsibilities is to generate an invoice. Okay, you have to generate an invoice in order to get your pay. For in Australia, the law say you don't have to pay someone if you don't get an invoice. If you don't get an invoice or an ABN, you will have to pay retain 45% and give it to the ATO and pay to the contractor the 55 extra. So if you really want to get paid for the 100%, you need to give your invoice. And something very important, it's very common that someone that subcontractor tell you, no, just give me your ABN and that's it. Yes, that is not right and that is not good for you as a contractor. Why? Because you are giving the power to someone else to use your ABN to do your invoicing. And what happens with the cleaning industry, for example, and the IT industry and the construction industry, the building and construction industry, and the sharing account, couriers industry? Around 2 years ago, it started for the cleaning. Each year, if I am a business and I subcontract you as a contractor, I have to say each year to the ATO how much I'm paying to each of my contractors. So the ATO will know already how much you are earning from me. So you are not able to avoid paying taxes for that amount because the ATO already know that you got this amount from me as a contractor. All companies that are in the cleaning industry and that has subcontractors has to give this information to the ATO each August. So that means as a contractor, because the students normally are a contractor, and I have seen a lot that say, no, yes, I work with ABN, but I don't want to declare all the income. I want to declare half of the income or only this part or whatever. The ATO already know how much did you earn that year for contractors. So don't do that. Don't do that because they will know that you are avoiding taxes. And that is illegal and that is an offense in Australia. So just be careful about that. And about so if you don't do your invoicing. If you don't give your invoicing, that is one of your obligations, and you should have these invoices for 5 years after you do your tax return. That is very important to keep in mind too. If you don't do your invoices, the person that is contracting you can say whatever they want. I mean, they can put more invoicing for you. So just be careful with that. Keep track of your invoices. You don't have to register your numbers as in Colombia. We have to register the number to be able to do invoicing or whatever. Here it's not like that. You can put your own numbers or your own reference or whatever, but do an invoice, okay? And there is a difference between the invoices. If you are registered for GST or if you are not registered for GST. I won't go there because GST is a little bit another
Topic, deep
completely
topic.
different thing. Yes, and it's very extensive, but just I will show you just how or what an invoice should include. Okay, so just give me a moment. If you are not registered for GST, that is normal. The students we are not registered for GST. An invoice should have the word invoice. Don't put tax invoice because it's not right. Has to be only invoice. Has to have your ABN. Invoice number is optional, but I strongly recommend that you have it. The date, who are you invoicing to? That is optional if the payment is less than 1,000. If the sale, because remember you have a business, that means you don't have so something very important. And I want to for you to see my face when I'm saying that. You don't have when you are working as a contractor, you don't have a boss, you have a client. You are a contractor, you have a business, you have a client, you don't have bosses. So just keep that in mind. The person that is subcontracting you is not your boss, it's your client. And as such, you should have the contract, as I said with you before, and you should get your payments when the contract says you have to get the payments. So if you send an invoice, again, in the invoice, I recommend that you also have the due date. The due date is the date that you have to get paid. So you get paid on time. You have who is your client or what is the information of your client, the description of what you are doing. I know a lot of people do it, don't want to include the hours. It's okay. Just put cleaning. If you are in cleaning, you can put cleaning in house and the address of the house or whatever. The amount that you are going to get and the payment details. This is very important. A lot of people don't get paid because they don't put the payment details in the invoice. And also you should put price do not include GST, not registered. So your client knows that you are not registered for GST, that the amount that it says there doesn't include GST. GST is a tax, a sales tax or aggregated tax. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, it's more things that I didn't know about it that are really like small details that make the difference between self-contractor and employees.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right, so what happened when the student really is making his own or her own business, their own business? They really they want to be entrepreneur and they say, okay, we're gonna make our own business. Yes, we're gonna. It's not because someone tell us, it's because we really want to do it and we have this business idea that we want to try here in Australia. So for that real engineering cases, how it's working.
Okay, well, there is an as we have been speaking about the difference between employees and contractors, there is also a slightly different between a contractor and business owner or entrepreneur. So what is the
Okay.
difference? Well, the difference is actually in theory we are the same. In theory is the same, but in practice, for me, the difference is you have you are a subcontractor when you only have one client or maybe two or whatever, but you are looking more for a job and not for clients. So when you start actively looking for clients, looking for direct clients, for example, in the cleaning industry, you are going to the business, to the houses owners and getting your own houses to clean or your own offices to clean or whatever. When you give this step, that is when you really start having a business and not only being a savvy, as this calling
Subcontractor, yes.
that is a subcontractor. So if you hear savvy, same thing, subcontractor. So that's like the big difference. In theory, we have the same obligations, we have the same benefits. You can business owners and contractors both can claim expenses for the business. Both can both needs to do the accounting. Both of them need to apply for licenses, to get insurance, to pay the taxes, to register for GST if they need to. Everything is exactly the same. The only difference will be in practice. You just go out and start looking for clients. You get your AV, your well, it's supposed, and that is something that I didn't because this is really extend.
It's
Uh,
yeah, it's really deep topic for sure.
yes, exactly. So
But I know that as well. You are part of this Australian Small Business Advisory Services. So what I want to do with this webinar as well is to open the invitation for those students who want to open their own business. Because I don't know, maybe they have a business idea, or maybe they want to look for extra incomes or whatever, is say that even that you are under a student visa, you can do it. You can open your business. So actually, Andrea, she provides um, um, advice, could say,
yes,
about this topic when you are starting a business.
yes. So as I said before, Australia is full of opportunities, full, and there is a lot. People can spend money here, and you can have really develop a really good business in Australia, even though if you are a student. It is a myth that you cannot start a business in Australia because you are a student. Actually, most of us does when we get the ABN, as I said before. But even if you want to create a company, like a PTY, a limited company, you can do it being a student. The law say you need to be resident in Australia. That means it doesn't mean resident for migration
Mission
purposes. That means
purpose.
living in Australia. If you are living in Australia and you are the rights to work in Australia, all a student does, you can apply for, or you can start your own business. Um, for the ones that knows or speak Spanish, I have this phrase there, and it says, "Start your own business." I know that you can, because I have done myself. When I did it, I was a student. When I started my business, I was a student. So you can do it, and there is a lot of help. There is a one page for the business, for the government. It's called business.gov.au. In this page, you can find a lot of information about how to start a business, but also you can find grants that are available. No all grants are only for Australians or for permanent residents. I was one of them thinking about that. I thought that all the help that the government gave was only for Australians,
Australians.
citizens of permanent residence, but no. I am part of one of the programs for the government. I am an advisor for the program. The program is called Digital Services Australian Small Business Advisory Services. What I do in this program is you can get some advisory sessions with me, and we will sit and I will speak up with you about what are your obligations, what do you need to know when starting a business in Australia, or if you already have your business, I will help you with the accounting side of the business. I will help you organize your bookkeeping, get ready, register for GST, all these kind of things. because my passion is to help others start a business and also to do it in the right way. And what I mean for the right way is taking in care all the laws in Australia, knowing how the system works in Australia for a business, uh, paying the minimum wages, knowing all this difference between contractors and employees. If you are a business and you need to contract people because you are growing and you can't handle it yourself anymore, so you need help on how you can do it. So if you want to get one of these consultations with me, you are in Queensland. I am part of the program in Queensland, Northern Territory, and Western Australia. So if you are in one of these places and you have an ABN, an active ABN, less than 19 employees, and you have not been part of this program before, you can get one free session with me. It means you don't have to pay, the government will pay for you. It doesn't mean that I will offer you something else. No, it can be only the hour, but the idea is that you get to this meeting with all these questions that you have, and I can help you understand and clarify all the information that you need to.
Yeah, so of course, a lot of information on the internet that you can start looking at everything. But in one step, of course, you want specific questions about your own business and how, in your case, should apply these laws. So through these free consultations that Andrea can provide, you can have a close and a real advice in your specific case. So she has to be able, can be in English or can be in Spanish for any of Latin American students that want to get it. And the first one, because we are in Queensland, Australia, is for free. So it's a great advantage, and as well she can share with you other, depends of your case and business and everything, maybe another resources that are important for you to keep going with your business. And as well as different communities that as entrepreneur, they meet and support each other. So it's possible. It's about networking. It's really important about networking, about to get in and research and to put a passion for your business.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's an option. I know a few cases, but as well, you can even sponsor yourself with your own business. Of course, it's a lot of things involved, a lot of details, requirements, but it's an option. So why not? Could be in the
Mm,
future.
yes, exactly. There is, the option is there, the help is there, the resources are there. You just have to take the decision and start your business. And maybe if you are a contractor now, you can make the switch and start developing your business. You have
Yeah,
already an income. You can start looking for other clients and start growing your business and
yeah,
actually change from contractor to business.
yeah. I mean, it's never late to do the things better and properly.
Mm.
So now with this information, that is what we want, that you, okay, be aware of the situation and how you can organize yourself. Because yes, sometimes we don't know about it and we thought that it should be okay, but no, because you don't know about the law doesn't mean that it's right.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That they, if ITO comes and do a audit in you, it doesn't. If, and you say no, I didn't know that I have to do that. They don't care. They don't care. You're going to get a fine. That's it.
Yeah, they
So
know everything, so make
yeah,
sure that you do the things properly.
exactly, exactly. It's very important. Look, we are in a beautiful country. If it wasn't that beautiful, we wouldn't be far away from our families. And this is a country that works. This is a country that is full of good things, but the things are good because people
Follow the
do the
instructions.
law. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So just keep that in mind. You want to keep this country like that, so you have to involve yourself in this kind of culture and do the right thing. That's
Yeah.
it.
Perfect.
And doing the right thing, it really pays itself.
Yes.
When was the COVID, for the businesses that did the right thing, the government give help a lot. Like minimum $20,000 for the ones that were registered for GST and have employees. But the ones that were always, no, I'm not having employees, I'm going to have contractors, even though they should be employees. That ones, because they wasn't doing the right thing, they didn't got any help, and that's it. You do the right thing, you get help. You don't get help. So yes,
Yes, and it's as you mentioned, it's different grants that they provide as a government, even their own states as well.
yes,
Sometimes they even their own councils they provide their own community. Depends of the business that you're gonna have. Sometimes I know as a woman, so okay, you may have the chance to get another type of grant. No,
mm,
it's because it's in this industry of I don't know education. Okay, so maybe through the industry of education you may get another grant. But sometimes because we thought like I know that is just for Australian residents or something like that, we don't search and apply, and the opportunity can be there.
yes,
So this is an invitation to you guys as well to have a look other options. Maybe if you want to, you have your own career from your own country and you want to start your business here, that can be an option because I know that to get in the industry when you have already a bachelor at home or studies at home can be not that easy. Okay, why you don't create your own opportunity to be exposed in the market? So
exactly.
this is can be an option.
Yes.
And you can even join with other students. So maybe you are good in marketing, you are good doing this. So boom, we create a company together.
Yeah,
So
that's something very important is to keep your open mind. You know, if you are going to a business and you find out in the research part, because you first need to do a research to be able to open the business. So in the research, you find that you need a license and you don't have the requirements for the license. You just go and find someone that has the requirement for the license, but you have another skills and you can join the skills and start your business. So just keep your mind open and to the all possibilities that are here. Don't self-sabotage. You have a lot of things to do here. So just do it.
yes, and you can be free to do it because in the way that you're gonna be covered. That's why it's the laws and regulations. So that is not just they care just about themselves, they care about the employee, the company, the whole community. So it's really worth it to do it.
Australia is in the top 20 countries that is easier to start a business. So why not?
Yes, exactly. All right. Thank you very much, Andrea, for your time. Thank you
You're
very much
welcome.
for this great information. For those one who wants to have a consultation with Andrea, please, I gonna post the details and the link where you can do the consultation. But before you do the make the booking with her, the appointment with her, make sure that you have write down your question, that you have already an idea what you're gonna talk about it because it's a lot of information, like at the basic information you can find online. So don't waste your time and the opportunity of the advice. So if you're gonna book the advice because you have already a plan and say, okay, look, this is my specific case. That way you're gonna take more advantage about this great opportunity and about Andrea's knowledge. So I'm gonna post in the comments how you can contact, what are the requirements, that most of you may get it. That is ABN, being in Queensland. Anyway, we're gonna put it there. If you have any further question, of course, you are more than welcome to contact me. And as well, there is the Andrea's contact details as well. She has her own Facebook page and as well web page, but I think it's mainly in Spanish.
I have
However,
take I okay. I have two different names for or web pages for my business. So one is focused on migrants in business. There are no Spanish speakers and it's the business alive. And the other one is for Spanish speakers that is Emigrantes, Emprendedores. So you
so
can
there you
have all
are.
of them. Yeah.
Okay, so much easier cannot be. So there she has the both options. And here we are open to provide any support that you may need. So thank you very much, Andrea, for your time. We keep in contact. If you want to that we do maybe in the future another webinar about a specific topic, just let us know and we can organize something. Because yes, entrepreneur is a really deep topic that is hard to provide the whole information in once. But why not? If you want to know a little more about something, let us know and we may organize something else.
We could actually organize a webinar through the program for the ones that has the all these things. And it will be the, I don't know if maybe you are seeing this webinar and you would like to know specifically about something, you can just write and let me know what do you would like the next webinar to be about, and we can see if we can do it. I will have two webinars this month actually. Well, one this month next week and the other one the week after. And it will be about do I need an accounting system for my business? That will be the first one. And the second one, and I think that is very important for everybody, is networking, the Australian way to do a business. But that ones are going to be in Spanish, so it's only for Spanish speakers. But I can do one in English if you are interested in that. So just let me know, write in the comments, and we will
Yes,
sort it out. Something.
please speak out, ask for help, and we can support each other. All right, thank you very
All right.
much.
Thanks to you, Danny.
Um,
Thanks for the opportunity to present to you.
no, thank you for sharing your knowledge and all your experience here. All right, have a wonderful day and see
So
you next time.
thank you.
Thank you.